Yeah, that's me, Nicholas Johannan Guy, born February 1st, 2000, at approximately 7 in the morning. Piedmont Hospital, Atlanta, Georgia. I didn't know everything that was going to happen in my life that was going to happen at that time. But I'm pretty sure if I could think back that far enough, I was probably just curious. Why so many lights? Why so many people in my face smiling at me, at my beautiful, wondrous face? All the muscle movements of my body trying to piece themselves together so that I can crawl, walk, and run. And yet at the same time, wondering what's ahead of me. What am I here for? Why am I here? Trying to understand purpose. But only when I would take a minute to sit for a second and sit with my creator, my real creator. Only then would I know what he has in store for me. But it's alright though, we can get into that. Watch this. You know, as a child, I never really liked pain. I don't think anybody does. The difference is though with me is that I never actually got to the point where I was willing to get past the pain. I just wanted to avoid it at all costs. Who wants to deal with hurt? Who likes to be hurt? Is a question I will often ask myself. And because I never actually got a genuine answer that felt authentic, I don't think I ever, well, not ever. It took me a long time to realize that pain is something that we choose to deal with because of how we associate ourselves with other people and other things in life. The same way that God chose to love us, even though we betrayed him on many occasions, is the same way in how Jesus loved us enough to die for us, even though he didn't want to do it. So even though it took me, I probably say, even though it took me about 23 years to learn that, for them 22 years and 364 days and some change, I didn't like pain, but pain liked me. I was hurt. Coming out of middle school, I started flying planes. That was like, that was basically like my introduction into the aviation industry. And it was pretty dope, pretty cool. I even started taking some engineering classes in high school, passed my capstone, did everything I was supposed to do. And when it comes time to like make a decision or like, okay, God, like we're going to college, or for some reason school just didn't seem like the right thing to do. Like just something within me was just like, you don't need to be going to school. But I tried for it anyway because it's like, the pressure's there. Both my brothers got their degrees. Everybody in my family is a college graduate with at least a bachelor's, except me, like to this day. And so like there was just pressure there to like, bro, go to a 4 year school and get your degree. Start off with try going to the Air Force Academy. I do my training for that. A congressional recommendation from a Congress member. Um, did my interviews, and I got all the way to my second interview, and then they cut me. And this was like right before Christmas. So I was pissed. I was very angry. It was like, fine, if I can't go to the academy, I'm just go Air Force. And that's what happened. I watched that video. I'm going to the Air Force, everybody. Woo! And God had other plans. And applying to any military branch, they're going to ask you questions about your health, your history, and all that stuff. And me trying to be an upstanding citizen, I was like, I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to tell them everything that I have. I don't think lying gets you anywhere except back in the same spot you started. Every time something came up, because we're going back to like my Kaiser Permanente days, we're going back to like Eagles Landing days, back when I was like 12. We're going back to visits when I was 4 or 5 years old to get some of this stuff cleared up, and to track the history. And so when they go look at something else, like when they go look at my asthma, my skin stuff popped up. Okay, well, like, why are you taking this medication for your skin? So then I had to clear that up. Or they'd be like, okay, well, we see that this other thing popped up in your blood, so you need to go get a blood test done and go check that. So taking pulmonary function tests, doing all type of everything. And the craziest thing is that in that entire process, from that started in April, I had MEPS, which is where you like go down and they like fully examine your body, down at MEPS. And I got to MEPS around June, July-ish, somewhere around there. And mind you, if they weren't going to let me in for some reason, all that stuff was already cleared. I get to the examinee. He's like, all right, like, things check out, we'll let you know. And, they send me back out to the lobby. I wait probably about 30 minutes. They come get me and they say I'm disqualified for asthma. MEPS has to disqualify me, and then it goes to the attorney general and they will make a decision. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, it's kind of expected. I'm not tripping, but I'm still a little nervous. Bro, like 3 weeks go by, 4 weeks go by. It's late July. Richard just died. And I get a text from my recruiter saying the attorney general disqualified me. And I was heartbroken. Me and my girlfriend broke up at the time too, like right around that same time. So there's just a lot going on. And I lost my job. Like that last week of July going into that first week of August 2019, probably the most memorable moment of my life. A part of me knew I was sad, but a part of me knew that this wasn't the end, and it's too early for me to quit. At 19, it's too early for me to quit. I just always kept that in the back of my head. Eventually, I kind of get out of my funk, and I start looking at more schools. So I'm like, hey, like, I want to go to school. I've been trying to go to the Air Force for a minute. Let's try the school thing again. So one of those schools was Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Great, great, great aviation program, and I got accepted. I mean, why wouldn't I? It's me. And then they told me how much it would cost. Talking about $40,000 a year for a 4-year degree, and I said, "Ain't no way." So even though I got accepted into like one of the top programs in the country, I didn't go. I thought it was too expensive. Too expensive for me to do. Too expensive for me to go away to Daytona. Also, Bethune Cookman was right there, and at that time period, I definitely felt like I would have definitely pledged. I would have pledged at Bethune Cookman while going to Embry Riddle. I don't know how I would have did it, but I would have figured it out because Bethune Cookman was a 5-minute drive. I would have figured it out. After 2020 came, my birthday comes around, and we start looking at Aviation Institute of Maintenance. It's like early January. Start looking at Aviation Institute of Maintenance, which is where I recently graduated from. I get my car, I apply, get accepted. Cool. Go to financial aid, figure out what that's going to look like. I said, bet. And won't you know, like, right when I was about to start, that COVID started. COVID happened. And so I never really got fully enrolled. And yeah, at that point, once COVID came, I said, okay.
I got you. Help me up. Come on, Gerald.
I don't remember cussing out God. I don't know if I've ever done that, but I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of like, God, what the fuck? Seriously, sorry, mom. Like, what the hell? Literally, what the hell? But this is what I will say. My prayers were short and few during that time. before COVID, I never really had a prayer life. Like I would pray sometimes. It wasn't like anything crazy. I just wouldn't. I go to church, read my Bible at church, pray at church. That's it. And so maybe all this was to teach me to go to him. Which I mean, hey, it worked, right? I'm making this video now, so I couldn't deal with it. And so really after Richard died, I definitely started smoking. But definitely once COVID happened, I was high every day. Every day. Every day. Wasn't a day I wasn't high. My grandfather died that summer, I believe. I said to hell with it. I said to hell with it. And for the next 2.5 years, yeah, I didn't give a no more.
I'm outside in an AMG, right outside, TT. Two-turn baby girl, you know me. Still with the dogs that I grew beside. All the niggas around me, right till they die. Gotta watch the time, cause it's flying right by. I'm outside in an AMG, right outside, TT. Two-turn baby girl, you know me.
After all that craziness for 2 years, God finally pulled me out of it by force because I clearly wasn't looking for an escape. And like, this is why I literally tell my family like I ran away from God, because the thing is that sometimes God will literally pull you out of your own mess, and now you have the option of dealing with that and figuring out what to do. So, you know, after my fight and after I got fired coming back from my birthday trip, uh, I seriously had to think about what I wanted to do with my life. Wesley Leon Guy saved my life. And he invited me to church. Oh, God. My brother invited me to church. And so that church was Change Church out in Gwinnett, and they had a revival night. Travis Green came through and literally taught me how to worship. He showed me what it looks like to worship, how to say hallelujah when your body naturally doesn't want to do it, how to lift your hands and give God praise even when your body feels uncomfortable. Your spirit is willing and wants to do it, but your body is like it's not used to it, you know? That day changed my life. One day, shout out Mr. P, Mr. Phillips. Thank you so much. Mr. Phillips came through and gave me a book called Experiencing God. And that book, along with that same day, I go talk to Wesley, and Wesley told me I should probably try a fast. Cause at that point, like I wasn't working, I wasn't in school. I was like, bro, what the hell am I supposed to do? I'm 23 years old. And those 45 days that I did, I got enrolled into school. I got enrolled back into AIM at a cheaper price. A cheaper price. Got enrolled back into AIM at a cheaper price. Started doing great in my school, and I got a job in 45 days. And this is a man who didn't know what he was finna do. And I started my lock journey too, all at the same time. And those 45 days are the most momentous days that completely changed my life around. God did more in 3 months than I did for myself in 23 years, point blank. At first, I start off with like a couple verses a day or asking Holy Spirit like what he wants me to learn. And then eventually I got into like a chapter a day, and eventually that turned into like an hour and a half of studying every day. And then once I got the Experiencing God book, I was doing that along with my own reading every day, or mostly every day. And yeah, those 45 days changed me. And it got to the point where I literally went from not going to church to literally helping out my mentees at the same church that I grew up at. And I just thought that was so dope. And because I had literally just got out of my mess, I was giving them the business. I was telling them everything, like I used to smoke, drink, I used to have sex, like all of that stuff. Because it was my truth and I wasn't scared. And eventually it got to the point where I was pouring so much into them that what at once was just, I'm just here to help, became into a legit role over the next year where I was pouring into the kids and stuff like that. And that was really fire. And I mean, yeah, really ever since like April of 2023, where I got off my fast. I mean, have there been some bad days? Yeah. Have there been some days where I didn't pray? Yeah. Have there been some days where I didn't read my Bible? Yeah. Have there been some days where I fell back into the same thing that I stopped on my fast? Yeah. Have there been some days where I didn't go to church or didn't want to go to church? Yeah. Am I still faithful though? Am I still praying? Am I still reading my Bible? Absolutely. There's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. And one of my favorite quotes from my pastor PD is like this: your spiritual journey is not linear. It's like a roller coaster. It's going to be ups, downs, twists, and turns. You still have life to live. So don't beat yourself over the head for missing the day, for missing time with God. Like, He's always there. His grace is sufficient. Don't take advantage of it, and don't use it as a way to not pursue Him. Like, you should still pursue Him. But if you miss a day or you're literally not feeling it, you can go to God with that. Like, one thing I've learned over the past 2 years is to go to God about how I feel. Hey, God, I really don't feel like praying right now, but I'm going to be here and I'm going to tell you how I feel. Hey, God, this thing is really bothering me. Your trauma response and your responses to your parents probably reveals how you view God, because I know I do. When you get accustomed to holding feelings in and not expressing them thoroughly, or being taught how to express yourself, how do you think I'm going to treat my Father in heaven? I'm not going to tell him how I really feel. I'm going to have a bad day and say, God, thank you for this day. Thank you for your grace and your mercy. Can I have, can I have, can I have? I'm asking for stuff to solve the problems instead of me telling him what my problems actually are. Being open, bro. I stopped hiding myself from Christ.
Hi, I'm Skip Guy, and I'm Nicholas's father.
Hello, I am Cheryl Guy, Cheryl Arnold Guy. I am Nicholas's mother. I am the mama.
So my name is Shalana, but my family calls me Lonnie.
Yo, what's up? My name is Wes. I am the older brother of Nicholas Johannan Guy, JoJo.
My name is Candace Guy, and Nick is my brother.
Okay, my name is Adria Jenkins, and I am Nick's niece.
Are you my? I was gonna say, are you my favorite niece or just regular
I'm your
niece?
favorite niece.
You sure about that? Bree might have something to say about that.
No, Bree, come on. I'm definitely the favorite, so that's not even the issue.
My name is Bree Jenkins. I am your Nick's niece.
So I ended up talking to your sister like the other day, and she thinks that she's my favorite niece, and I wanted to know if you had anything to say about that.
Yes, I do have something to say, because nobody cares about her for real. Yeah, she's old as freak, so really, like, you can't even, like, enjoy, like, the niece part, because nieces are always supposed to be, like, really, really young. That's your homegirl.
So what's up, y'all? My name's Corey Barron, to be exact. I know Nick because we grew up together, like, from as early as I can remember.
I'm Addison Jackson. I'm not specifically related to Nicholas, But through the grace of God, I am.
My name is Leah Phillips, and I am one of Nick's, I think, probably longest friends.
My name is Jasmine. We met in high school, sophomore year, in our literature class, if I remember correctly. Because he was one of two people in the class that were very annoying.
Two areas I would like to know more about you. One is like knowing more about your hobbies. I feel like you've been really into like the photography, the videography, things like that. So like knowing like more about that, what's gotten you into that, and like just like where that passion comes from.
What's like your motivating factor to do stuff that like isn't expected out of you? Like you're doing this project right now. What is it that motivates you to do that?
I kind of, used to take photos on my phone and stuff. And I always had a thing for film, movies, good videos, YouTube for sure. And so I guess when I finally got the opportunity to really, shoot for myself and use it to make some income, it's like, yo, why not? And it turns out I have some pretty good talent, got some pretty good skill. A real truth is, bro, I just like capturing moments. I like memories. I like having good memories and capturing those memories and sharing them with other people is really a blessing. It's like allowing somebody to look back at time and remember songs and remember the food and remember the dancing and the music and the day and the flowers and just all type of everything. It's like recollection. Kind of like what God does with us at the end of our time and, puts us through the fire and everything like that. And I don't know, I guess this is just my own human, less deity version of that in a way. And then sometimes I get a little bit creative and throw my own twist on it when it comes to the videos and stuff. And that's how we get stuff like this.
Hey, actually, music too. So you've also played, the drums for literally our whole childhood.
I also forgot to mention, like, I be doing music sometimes too, just for fun, listen to a beat, rap over it. And, I got a couple hits, what I'm saying? A little something like this. What would you do yeah. Look, what would you do if the world was in to go after your flesh and go somewhere and pray? I can be mad if you chasing your sin, but I cannot get with that, cause we not the same. When Jesus come down, you gon' hear the trumpets like a buzzer beater at the end of the game. I'm trying to disciple and spread his name to the whole world, and you lame if you don't do the same. Or this.
Gave me the greatest gift. Holy Spirit, help me not alone. I don't get jealous. I step on my pride, got to the side, and I don't like that lie. No, let's show that I can't stay tonight. How you want me to lay you down, but you can't play with me for an hour? This is an evil world, but I'ma be with Jesus when he come down. All white, coming off the mountain, shine white.
And I definitely got something for the ladies too. It should sound something like this.
Little baby, I just wanna see you happy. Praying to God that you see him as your pappy. Not your earthly father, I'm just saying it's not sappy to be under the grace of God who won't ever be caught lacking. You read your word and write notes, the journal's tracking all of the faith and how God revealed to you your talents. You a beautiful image of God and not a challenge. I just wish you could see yourself from my vantage.
In all that you have seen and all that you have learned in life, and also from watching us as well as your siblings, I want to know probably what would you do from all that you know? How would you go about selecting your bride of choice?
I'll stick with the wife. Who, how, when.
I think I was like 7 years old. I said, God, I want my wife to be brown skinned with a fat. I prayed for exactly what I wanted. Even in my prayers about my wife, they've stayed so authentic to myself without compromising integrity of, what I'm really expecting God to do. You know what I'm saying? I wrote down in my prayer journal how I'm going to find my wife and what I expect and what I want out of my wife. And I know I wrote about probably 40 things that I said I wanted my wife. How she's going to help me, what she's going to do, what her characteristics are going to be, what her love language is going to look like, how does she exude herself, her character, her interests. I wrote down how she's going to align not only with my job and my business, but also with my church. Like, I made it this big cohesive thing and I gave it to God. And then the last thing, which nobody told me to do this. One of the things I wrote down, I think it was like one of the last things or one of the first things, or maybe in the middle, I don't know. I said, I'm going to confirm my wife through the scripture. That's how I'm going to know. Not with feelings, not with looks, not with money, not with relationships, not with bond. So she's going to be confirmed through the scripture.
It was just so funny. I would say another story was when we was at church and Nick was introducing himself to this old lady, and she was like, "Hey, Will, hey, Nick," and my mom was, doing this, and she was like, "And this is our other son, Nicholas," and so the the old lady was just like, "Oh wait, what's your name?" And he was like, "My name's Nick," and she was just like, "Hey, Nicky," and. And so he was like, nah, Nick was probably like 12, 14 or something. Nick was like, nah, you can start hearing the bass in his voice. He was like, nah, my name Nick. And she was like, pleasure to meet you, Nicky. And he said, I said my name Nick. Mind you, we at the church. And, Nick is getting hot. And she was just like, all right, well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Nicky. And so literally his name in my phone to this day is saved as Nicky.
I think alongside of that was I don't know, it was a heart-stopping moment. The day I saw you get in that plane, I said, oh my Jesus, I'm just gonna pass out right here. And so my sister Keisha was there, of course, and we were out. They told us, come out to the hangar. And I thought, what? Okay, so we'll go out to the hangar because I'm thinking that you're gonna have a chair to the right side. And when you finish going around the plane and doing all the things you had to do, they told you to go in and move over to the pilot seat. And I'm gonna tell you something. It was a heart-stopping moment for me to see you take that plane, and I saw it beginning to, coast, or what you call it, taxi? Yeah, taxi. And I promise you, when that thing started to lift off, I just said, Jesus!
I think one of the funny stories was when we realized that, hey man, we just got too much time on our hands. So we was out here, trying to hit birds with rocks, being kids, and I don't know who came up with the idea to bring the bat out. I'm not gonna act like it wasn't me, but all I gotta say is, hey, that's some MLB dreams out here, bro. So we
go to the league.
Yeah, you feel me, bro? So, we try to go hit a home run. And this is right over a road going down a hill. And so we hit the rock up. And then all we heard is... and somebody starts slamming on brakes, bro. So we all run.
Yo. In the house, right?
Nah, bro. And I'm going to tell you how guilty we looked. When my mom walked outside, everybody was on their DS, sitting on a little swing playing the game instead of throwing the football.
I feel like somebody said throw the football. Was that you?
I did, and it was too late, bro. It was too late at that point, bro.
3 people.
So you'd probably be on my Mount Rushmore of like not just regular advice, but like life advice, like stuff that I actually need to go by. Another person I would put, I'll put my mom up there. I'll put her up there, and then probably my best friend, and then my other friend Laura. With my friends, I can still go to them, but sometimes I be needing to talk to somebody that has probably been through a situation like that that's similar, or has like got out of that part of their life already.
Yeah.
Like they're older. I be needing that sometimes.
Yeah.
I would put you on my Mount Rushmore, like people who encourage me to get closer to God, or like show me what it is to be like a good Christian, show me like things I should do and stuff like that when it comes to Christianity. And I would put Grandma Cheryl.
Okay.
I would put like one of my like best friends, Kylie, because like we like to, it's like a mutual relationship. Like we encourage each other to both like read the Bible and go to church and stuff like that. And then I would also put Grenade Skip, because he would have came to my track meet and started talking to my friends all about Christianity and how like one of my friends had a seizure and she couldn't run, and so he was like, well, why do you think he had that seizure and stuff like that? And he was like showing her that it was her, but why not her, and stuff like that.
Oh boy.
I want him to find a way to tune out the noise. He's not focused on people's opinions per se, but he's
aware of it.
Too aware. To a point where it's like it could cloud judgment. And I'm not saying that he's like, he's freaking crazy or nothing, but like I be seeing him hurt by,
put it out there. Put it out there to the world. It's my testimony. It's okay. Talk that talk.
He's been hurt in a way that is damaging to the soul, unfortunately. And sometimes as men, as black men, we get into a place of, all right, well, I just got to go through it because that's the only way to do it. But we go through it wrong. Like we just try to man up and then go into our vices and focus on, making ourselves feel better instead of making ourselves truly feel better, and like going through these emotions and these pains and these feelings rather than, just putting them to the side.
Yeah. What wishes to Nickelodeon?
So corny, right?
I know, right? I love it. But yeah, well wishes to him in all his endeavors. I think that's a man. Called her. Yeah, my friend fixed this plane. Yeah. Y'all need somebody up. Hold on. What, you need some pictures? Okay. Let me call my friend real quick. I got you. Like, it's been great making the lifelong friendship. I mean, I really didn't know, sometimes I think along the way you fall out, with certain friends, and obviously like it kind of doesn't come back together. I think it was like crazy. The timing in which we came back together, not just obviously, I guess, well, yeah, mainly because just like where we were in our lives, how much like, you had changed from the beginning of just kind of like what you wanted to do to figuring out where you were at with it. I feel like God's almost taken the people I've already known and like drawn us all closer, rather than like me thinking it was going to be like just meeting brand new people. It's like, no, like you already have those people and you guys are all kind of wanting the same thing and inspiring each other to want more and to go closer, or you're bringing them here and showing them this. Now they're like, okay, he's just cultivating it in a way that I really just didn't even think of it happening. And I think that's just an amazing thing. And that's, about like, obviously it's great, like having visions and of things like of what you want for yourself in your future, but not being too rigid as to what that looks like, because it might not look the way you've seen it.
I'm so proud of you. I'm just so super proud of you. I'm proud of your walk. I'm proud of the man that you've become. I'm proud of the way that you were able to pull yourself out of your situation, of that dark place that you were in, and just let your natural light shine. You know that saying, train up a child the way that he should go and he'll never depart. So even when we do get out here and we wild a little bit, he's still there in us and we're able to reel ourselves back in. And so because of what was taught to you growing up, when you got to that dark place, nobody could reach you. It's times your mom will call me where she thought that you were suicidal. She's like, I think he's going to hurt himself. And I was like, I don't think so. He's down. It's dark. He's going to pull himself out of this. I know who he is. He's going to pull himself out. No calling, talking, texting. That's not going to do it. He's got to find it within himself. And it's already embedded in him. And he's going to do it.
Well, yes, I have so many well wishes. I think you're about to embark on a very exciting journey. And now that I know that you're about to move to a different state, I think it's just up from here. Really excited for all that God's about to do in your life. I think you should feel so proud of your accomplishments. I think it's so important to celebrate even when it feels like a small milestone, celebrate all milestones, because not everyone can do it. Not everybody can be here. And yeah, this is special. It's a special moment. I think this is like a very defining moment probably, because I mean, you're only young once, and yeah, it's exciting. So I wish you all the best. I think you should be very proud. Yeah.
What I would say is, you said something. You said everybody can't come. And everybody can't come. You know, I believe that if you, I think you'll get to a point, and I think you are getting to a point where God is going to elevate you. And I think one of the things that I've learned is everybody can't come. And that's okay. I think, you know, another thing that I would say is, if you could ask or think it, and I think we talked about this before, but if you could ever ask or think it, like, God can go beyond it. It's like beyond that. Like, so
beyond what you can ask or think.
It's far beyond what you could ever think up or imagine, because our ways and our thoughts are just not like his.
Hey, I'm just so happy I'm saved. God took me out the rain. Now I got peace and now I got brains. Face. Right in his image I made. So it's you, I finna remain. I see that the proof is helping me think. God, when they didn't think I'd do it. God, I knew it was moving. Earth, you wanted me ruling. Yeah. I know your love is amazing. God, I'm giving you praises. We got the whole world singing. I'ma keep praising your name. I don't care what these people gon' do, what these people gon' say, what these people gon' bang. We out here making disciples. We in the world, but we can't be the same. Okay. So I went for my hand on the Bible, speaking the truth and we making it plain. We finna pop it, lock it, sock it, cock it. Walking with God and we not finna change. Even your word and I can't be afraid. Did it with Christ and we making a change. We did it, we get it, we on it, we got it. Faith like a seed, I just need me a grain. He back on the scene and he healing the pain. Father, I love how you making him sing. When they didn't think I'd do it, God, I knew you was moving. Earth, you wanted me ruling.